So, my earliest memory in life was when my brother and I were living in Fort Rucker. He was just born. But I just had the privilege yesterday of hearing from Nana, my mother, Sue Allen, some stories about my pre-memories. So I was born on December 19th, 1968 in Fort Knox, Kentucky, and we only lived there for a short period of time. And then we were together at Fort Lee, for a year and a half together. And I don't remember any of that. I was just a baby. But then my dad had to go off to Vietnam. And so we moved to Kansas City to live with my mom's parents, Peggy and Bill Downs. And so we lived with them. And my mom said that she put my father on a plane to Vietnam, not knowing if he would ever come back. And she was about 22, and I was about a year old. I can't even imagine. And my dad said to her that he wasn't going to do anything stupid and that he would be back and that she didn't need to worry. And that's awesome because he did come back and he was okay. So then I lived with my grandparents. I lived with Peggy, and I don't remember her very well. She died when I was 4, but I had my own little room and everything was great. And shortly after we moved in with them, my grandfather's territory with Sherwin-Williams was changed, and we moved to Chicago, and we had a little bigger house. I do remember my room there. It was pink. I saw it later on in life, and that's where I was potty trained and got to do all kinds of fun things with my grandmother, Peggy, whom I love, and my mother and I were really, really close. And she said that at some point we went to California. And then when my dad was on leave, we went to Hawaii together. And we spent a week there, and I was just little. I was 2 years old, and there was a cute story that Mom tells about how I had memorized all of the poems in my book, my little storytell book, and I would sit and I would use my finger along the words, and my dad was absolutely convinced that I had learned how to read, which is not true. I didn't, too. But apparently life was good and Mom was okay. She had a little job, and my grandmother had a little job, and everybody was being taken care of by Papa, and my dad would send all his money home, and he came home from Vietnam okay. And then we went to Fort Lee then for a short period of time, and then we moved to Fort Rucker. And Fort Rucker was my first memories. So I'm going to stop at that point. That was the pre-years.